not too shabby. I will also... Okay, I need to kill you. Oh me, oh my, not like this. Not again. One bad hit is all it takes. I mean, fortunately, we have much higher armor class than we normally expect for this type of character, so we have that kind of going for us at the very least. But I don't want to rely too much on that in the grand scheme of things. And I see now why everyone was so injured. Apparently they were just rolling around in the fireballs there for a wee bit. And can definitely close the gap to the centaur. Okay, if I can kill the frog, at least we had the polearm user up next, so I wasn't too worried about dealing with them. And there we go. If we can just take one of you upstairs, that is fantastic. And the rest should follow in short order here. Or, you know, not at all. Auto Explorer takes us nowhere near there. That's cool too. You know what? Let's save ourselves some trouble and just say that we will not be visiting that economical temple at any point in the near or far future. That seems like a smart idea, all things considered. Okie dokie, we do get a timed portal on this floor. We'll see if we're able to make it here. Don't love facing off against the yaks. I guess I should check in. Did any message come through regarding the hiss of sand while we were fighting? Does not look to be the case. So we'll see if this next stairwell potentially reveals a little more information. Very distant. Well, that's great. I mean, we are getting closer and closer to being able to afford that longbow at least, so that's nice. In fact, one more gold pile should just about do the trick, and that is fantastic. Alright, kiddos. Let's approach one at a time here, please and thank you. I appreciate it. Don't think I saw the further shields there. I guess I don't really need another shield now that I think about it. At least not a basic one. I feel like I'm slowly but surely losing my mind here. But hey, that's just a normal Sunday stream at the end of the day. But okay, there we go. I did see that we had switched from very distant to distant, so I was optimistic we were on the right track, and that does indeed seem to be the case here. Still no abilities from Fedhas yet. I don't really want to fight Maurice. Hoping. Oh, you're not Maurice, but also just as bad. Jeez. Well, I guess the game's keeping stuff interesting, at the very least. Maurice is now a vine stalker in Trunk. Oh, wow. Not very often that one completely changes their species. Good for you, Maurice. I think I have to just leave. We just found our time portal, and we've already taken quite a few turns to get to this stage. But unfortunately, I feel like that might be a necessity. Holy hello, my friends. Quite the welcoming party here. Unfortunately, we're in a bit of a rough spot again here. All of our stairwells are a little bit dicey, shall we say, to put it lightly. So whoopee, that's exactly what we needed here today. More complications. But the other thing I should probably do here, once I hopefully kill this yak, I mean, technically you could get a whammy of a hit on us, but you shouldn't. There we go. But normally I like to ID stuff on a brand new floor just to increase the odds of like a magic mapping actually being useful. But in this case, we're going to make a little bit of an exception to Generation Potion. Perfect. Exactly what I was hoping we'd have multiples of, so thank you. Jeez Louise. Still no heal wounds, unfortunately, but I guess for now, we'll just try to get a few more of these scrolls sorted out. I could just say it's too late for the ossuary here. That's probably the intelligent move. Oh, right. All plants are friends. Thanks, Fedhas. Also, hello, Maurice. Erica is also an octopode. Oh, wow, so they're just, yeah, increasing the biodiversity of the uniques. I like that. Fun bit of flavor. So you're not actually gonna help me kill, right, Mushroom? We're just on friendly terms, but unfortunately, it doesn't really do a heck of a lot for us. It does look like we'll be able to kill Maurice at the very least, so that's nice. Oh, jeez Louise. That's not what we needed if we wanted to make it to this ossuary before it closes up. In fact, it might have already closed and I just wasn't paying attention, because it has been a pretty absurdly long time here, and perfect. Exactly what we were hoping for, right? There's still too many human uniques. Yeah, right? A step in the right direction, but could definitely mix things up. Definitely makes things a bit more interesting, so I do like that. In fact, I really like that there are some uniques that are species that aren't at all human playable, like Frederick is a svelte. I think it definitely adds a little bit of, you know, additional flavor to the game, which is always nice. I will buy a fear here. We'll also buy a noise, since that's just a cheap alternative to an ID scroll that we'd almost assuredly use later on, so that's fantastic. And then, what I'd like to do is head back upstairs. Excuse me, pardon me, don't mind me. Not those stairs, though. These stairs, there we go, and let us go and buy the longbow that we left behind earlier, shall we? I mean, we are attacking at under once per turn with the short bow, but we are at 1.0 attack delay with the longbow, so that is good enough for me. And I'm glad that I started checking stairs at the last second there, because we are definitely not looking to meet our two-headed friend face to face in quite that arrangement. That one neither, but at least we get this space between us, and that is just enough room to deal with that son of a gun, so that is perfect. And okay, we definitely have a run going. Should be able to take care of Joseph as well, especially with our reflection amulet kind of working in tandem with our own range damage, so that's fantastic. I probably shouldn't fight this two-headed ogre. I should probably try to gain that buffer of space again. Oh, but it's tempting for sure. Have I learned nothing from the first few runs of the day? Looked like it for a moment there, but instead, let's do the smart thing. And we'll just retreat for the moment, reset, and hopefully we come across that buddy with a bit more of intervening distance. I mean, the flip side of that is that we may just end up turning a corner directly face to face with our two-headed friend, in which case, oh boy, are we in trouble, but let us worry about that when we get there. And there we go. This is definitely at least what we were kind of aiming for. Then perfect if we just get you between us and our centaur friend. Never mind, our centaur friend unfortunately didn't make it. Ooh, but the Ring of the Scarab, poison resistance and willpower? Oh no, we're getting too lucky now. But I will definitely throw that out there. Wall of Briars, very castable without any invocations, but I feel like we should at least train a little bit in the background here. Will give us slightly better options in the future. And that is not too shabby, excuse me. And definitely retreat into the corridor before we end up getting completely and totally swarmed. Now that encounter, I definitely almost actively felt the repercussions of our earlier Minotaur run last week, because the frequency in which I was tabbing there, much more well suited for a close-ranged tanky character than the one we're currently playing. But hey, it all worked out for the moment here, so not the end of the world. We'll just finish off a couple more floors here, potentially, at least see if we're able to finish them off before making our way back up to the lair entrance that we left behind. Now this is interesting. I get marked, but I'm right next to the gauntlet. And I do want the gauntlet. What happens to time when I'm in these side areas? I'm guessing it still progresses. So will enemies be completely surrounding me when I make my escape later? I guess what I could do, the safe answer here, again, to try and be a little more consistent and cohesive in our staying alive strategies. We should probably try to wait out this mark, deal with anything that we have to fight. Just do it. We have 6 telly. Well, that's the unfortunate bit, though. Formicid. Formicid very much limiting our options as to how we can escape in the future. Because, yeah, I had the same thought. We have teleport. We probably have a few blinks in here. Unfortunately, won't exactly get us out of a nasty spot. But hey, not the end of the world here. We're looking pretty solid. I think we've cleared up everyone that was coming due to that initial alarm. And so let's check things out, shall we? Okay, a bunch of hornets we can definitely deal with. More hornets, you know, same dealio. And then ending in Meliai. Interesting. Oh, that is a nasty chamber. Bunch of spiders and a Moth of Wrath at this stage in the game. Is this one of the examples where one side is weighted much better than the other in terms of treasure? Doesn't really look that much better unless you really like scarves, which, don't get me wrong, I do. One of my favorite accessories. Excited for winter to come here because I can start wearing my scarves again. But in this context, I think that right side is looking a little too nasty. Oh, and we can bob and weave. Never mind, we can switch between them as we will here, so that's not too bad. Thanks, Roga, for also pointing that out. Took me far too long to notice on my end. But okie dokie, we can also take just another peek in here. Oh, there was a fire crab along with those bats? Well, that solves our conundrum, at least for the moment here. We'll definitely go hornets again. I mean, the downside to this, that I probably should have at least mulled over and thought about before we headed in, is that I do have to commit. We do have to finish here. So, we have Meliai with smiting, but at least we're poison resistant, so that's nice. They also have a 36% chance to evade our longbow. Versus similar evasion, worse poison, and rage. I guess we go Meliai. In fact, maybe. I don't really care too much about what's available here, so maybe I just run. That amulet could be regen, which is something that I would love to have, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day here, definitely need to survive. So we're gonna head in this direction. Unfortunately, with our Minotaur friend, we have Wall of Briars. That's fantastic. Cool. They have javelins, so our Minotaur friend will not care about walls that we put up. I think what we have to hope for at this point in time is that you are not wearing any poison resistance. Please and thank you. That would be lovely. Okay. Definitely hold a bit of a bait and switch on there, or on me there, I should say. I kind of want you to come my direction, I feel, no? I guess regardless, it's looking like pretty similar spacing here. Regardless, it's kind of this 4 gap. Well, no time like the present. What do you have? Staff of Cold? Ooh, 7 League Boots. I mean, Rampage times Infinity, not super necessary on a Hunter character, but still pretty cool. Okay, we have 1 Curari. Fly true. Or not, that's cool too. We don't have Oaklobes yet. We have Ballistomacites here. Let's see, they release spores, then they explode and they confuse, so we could try to get some confusion, I guess. I mean, at this range, chances are we're gonna hit ourselves, so probably not the greatest plan. But what I can do is gain some space from our friend here using those. Oof. What else? I have 2 nets, so we can potentially use those to some degree. We'll also see if the body blocking does any good for us there. It doesn't look like it. If I can get a little bit more of a gap. Why aren't you throwing anything at me, actually? Huh. So, Ballistomacite, 19% chance of failure is not great, but put it in that corner, I guess. Let me reread this real quick. It releases spores that will seek out foes. So we kind of need the Ballistomacite itself to stay alive. That would indicate. Let's try it out. Holy moly. Okay, I should also be careful here to only fire at the Minotaur's feet. Just because if we accidentally shot our own plant there. Actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't believe that that was even an option in the first place. Fortunately, they, I don't think we can hit, or not that we can't hit plants. Let me rephrase the non-existent sentence. But rather we can shoot through them. Is what it all boils down to. Wow, my speech skills today are definitely on an off moment here. Cannot speak eloquently to save my life, but that's not the end of the world. Better resist corrosion. Cool, I will put that on right away here. And that should just about do it. Pretty solid gauntlet overall here. Got some good objects added to our overall kit here, so definitely can't complain. Almost definitely should draw my degeneration. That's a great point. Oh me oh my. What did we leave behind here as well? Nothing that I really care about. So that's perfect. Just wanted to make sure before we got moving here. And where would this stairwell lead? Rather, I guess into that little cubby hole. Just in case we were really after saying hello to, was that Zin in there, I think? Wasn't really paying attention. Okie dokie. We should be on a fairly decent trajectory here now. We have our longbow nice and early, so that's pretty solid. We're also doing exceptionally well for our defenses for a hunter-based character. Right, we even have some willpower, so let's actually take a look here with you, my friend. 0% chance to petrify. You love to see it. And fortunately, because tabbing will always use our ranged weapon, I don't have to be too worried about stupidly walking across an entire open floor plan using the 1,000 League boots here. So that's perfect, or sorry, 7. Much less than 1,000, but still a cool item. And okie dokie. That's a bit more like it here. As long as we can hit enemies, we should be able to kill them in just a couple of hits. Again, you know, barring anything exceptionally out of depth coming our way. Boulder Beetle definitely could have hit us for a bit of a whammy there, but fortunately that is not the case here today. And we can just kind of do our thing and hang out. We'd also normally be very happy to see an Arbalist at this point, but I don't think I care too much about it. We'll probably stick to the longbow for now. It at least, you know, has an enchantment already on it, has a couple of enchantment points as well, so that is fantastic. Okie dokie. Well, I guess that just about gets us to the point where we can probably head to Lair now. See how things are looking down that direction. I do want to rethink our ring situation here. See invisible is useless. Fly is kind of nice to have. But I'll probably swap it out. Resistance to electricity and a bit of additional dex for the damage and evasion. That seems like a decent trade for us here, so let's go through that for the moment. Gotta find us a triple bow. That's what I've been saying. Where are all the triple bows at these days? And let's not get things confused here. Not looking for a triple crossbow. I want a triple bow. Whatever that would entail and look like. 3 different... Is it like a slingshot attached to a bow with 3 strings? I'm sure it would be completely unusable, except we have extra arms. Really makes you think. Maybe, or it just makes you think that I'm an idiot, which is valid as well. Completely fair and valid, and probably not wrong while we're adding things onto the list there. But not too shabby. We'll dive into Lair here. You'll notice that I did for a moment completely forget about the game plan and start making my way to D13. But fortunately, better senses prevailed. Largely due to the Centaur Warrior that I immediately saw down there that had me backpedaling instantaneously. But that is perfect. Probably also going to put shields back on here and train up to the point where we can swap over to the slightly bigger kite shield instead of this buckler that we've been lugging around for the time being. And that shouldn't take too long to hit. Hey, Tardret. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. It's definitely been a hot minute. I hope things are going well for you, though. And let's be slightly cautious of our calcifying friend there in the Catoplevis, but nothing we can't handle. Following since 2021, right? It feels like just yesterday. I don't feel like I've been streamed for that long. Which, you know, largely due to the fact that I stream once a week and not for very long, all things considered. I mean, back when I first started, we had our fair share of, I want to say like 8-9 hours was probably the longest streams that I did, even when I was a bit more inclined to do so. So yeah, it definitely stretches out these days. Feels like it's been forever and no time at all. At the same time. You remember me when I was playing Isaac? Yeah, and I actually, weirdly enough, very, very recently kind of got back into Isaac. I haven't been playing it too much, but I was perusing through my Steam library, rather, and saw it, and thought to myself how long it had been since I played, so I did recently kind of invigorate my love for that game. It's still one of my favorite roguelikes of all time. It's both that one and Hades, both 2 games that featured fairly predominantly when I first started streaming. Hades being the game that got me streaming in the first place. But both fantastic. I definitely want to potentially give them more time. Unfortunately, I'm just not playing games as often as I used to. So generally have to really pick and choose what we're able to play, unfortunately, because there are so many games that I'd like to dedicate a bit more time into or revisit. Lots of old games that are fantastic. You know, speaking of games that we did at one point stream, another one on that list is Noida. Noida, every once in a while, I think back on fondly and wonder if I should boot it up again. And and probably will someday, because I definitely really enjoyed those games. Potentially even on stream one day in the future here, but who the heck knows. I have a hard enough time just keeping to my fairly limited DCSS schedule. Oh, geez. Oh, no. Okay. Let's slow down for a moment here. We could take one dangerous step, take a bunch of hits from our Hydra pals. The issue is, no matter how many times I try and step away, I might just get pulled right back. The issue here is that I was hoping potentially Wall of Briars to give a buffer, and then I can sneak around the corner. Could shaft self, but we do have 8 fear scrolls. So I'm feeling pretty good about our odds. Oh, right. There's that to also account for. We'll maybe be fine. No, not fine. Definitely not fine. Excuse me, pardon me. Don't mind me, my swamp worm pals. I'm gonna sneak around there, and hopefully they didn't completely lose me and end up going around the top, because I would have looked like a complete idiot there, but as is, I only look mostly like an idiot. Score. Oh, I almost broke our moral code there by accident. Immediately almost murdering one of our pig friends here. And actually, speaking of, I'm guessing if I put out Thorny Briars, they're going to kill some of our pig friends. I mean, on the flip side, there's a freaking Sphinx here, so I probably should just leave anyway. It's tough when Kirky is so close to dead. I guess I could fear is another option. You would not be feared, but everyone else would be. I guess Sphinx probably not. Actually, better odds than I thought. We're kind of burning through fears here, which isn't great, but might all be worth it in the grand scheme of things. And if I can just kill you, perfect. That's exactly everything we were hoping for there. And with that, we should be basically on track to return to our exploration here. Moto Dragon's slightly terrifying, but at least if we get the hit with our freezing brand, we do fairly well with slowing those sons of guns down, so that is fantastic. Similar with the Hydras, we kind of have a built-in anti-Hydra effect, so that's perfect. Ooh, even Sky Sharks. Can't stand up to the frigidity of our attacks. That is beautiful. Okie dokie, that should just about be the floor here. Right, I guess we never really finished exploring what is, inevitably going to be our swamp entrance. Was feeling pretty confident about that one. Swamp and spider, hey? I kind of wish we'd gone snake instead of spider, just, again, because of that aforementioned cold brand on our longbow. Reptiles are kind of our jam right now, but should hopefully be fine regardless. And so for the moment here, we'll just continue on our journey. Not a care in the world. And I should start to be slightly more cautious of how quickly I'm spamming tab. Also should just drop these teleport scrolls. In fact, let's go through them all. So as was mentioned earlier, Degeneration should hit the deck. I forget who was helping us out there. Oh, yeah, Roga, thanks again for that. Teleport, and then Blinking, I guess we haven't found yet, but those will be getting dropped as well, if and when we do figure out if we're carrying any of those sons of guns. Rather, whether we are carrying some of those sons of guns.